So I started my own business in August of 2007. I was determined to be my own guy, be my own boss. I was convinced if I could make $10,000 a month and be my own boss, I would have life figured out and that money would solve all my problems. So I got rolling. It was August of 2007, just before the greatest collapse in the economy since the Great Depression. The OEMs were filing bankruptcy and I was cold calling automotive dealerships, selling them saturation direct mail. Okay? It was a grind. For 18 months I struggled. And instead of getting encouragement, some of my own relatives would tell me, Chad, that deal is weak and it's never gonna work. Go get a real job. But I didn't quit because those comments, not only did they not demoralize me, they actually fueled me. So I worked even harder and harder and harder. And I remember distinctly having to borrow money to put propane in our gas tank from my father-in-law. They were tough times, but we persevered. And next thing you know, 2009 comes. I'm making 10 grand a month. Then 10 turns into 20, 20 turns into 50, 50 turns into 100. You fast forward 3 years, we made $1 million in net profit for 3 years in a row. I was 24 years old, my wife was pregnant, built a brand new house, and on the outside, I had it all together. But there was a problem. On the inside, I was overwhelmed. And then I remember one day in 2012, the fall of 2012, I'm sitting in the voting booth. I'm at Snow Hill Baptist Church, and I'm standing outside of the church. There's not a cloud in the sky, and I get a phone call. It's my attorney. He said, Chad, are you sitting down? I said, no, man, I'm in the line at the voting booth. Hit me. He said, you really need to be hitting down. I said, hey, hit me. He said, well, I just received a summons. You're being sued. They want $40 million. And something happened in that moment deep within my soul. It felt familiar because that was the same fear that got me committed to starting 7 years before then. But I felt it. I felt it in that moment like I'd never felt it before. Now keep in mind, okay, on the Instagram, it all looked good. We had a big old house, we had beautiful children, fresh married, making millions of dollars a year, all the nice toys. But I knew right then in that moment, man, you had a problem, okay? And it had nothing to do with a lawsuit, it had nothing to do with the money, it had nothing to do with the team we built, it had to do with the fact that I was pursuing the wrong things. So what did I do? Well, I toughed it out. That's what I decided to do. I grinded out, outwork it, work harder. You can outrun this deal, go, go, go. So I put more weight on my shoulders. I worked harder, I hired more people, and our business continued to grow. And then 6 months turned into a year turned into 2 years. And what I realized is I was out of control. On the outside, it looked like I had it all figured out. But on the inside, I was depressed. I was overwhelmed. I was scared to death. And so after fighting it as hard as I'd ever fought it for 2 years, I finally failed for the first time in my life. I shut down my business. I bought a Class A diesel pusher. And I packed up my 2 and 1 year old daughter and my wife, and I spent 2 years on the road. We went all over the country, put 40,000 miles on the motorhome in 2 years. It was some of the most memorable times of my life. Just getting away, reflecting about all I'd learned, all I'd done, and all I'd failed to do. And one day we're at the San Antonio KOA in spring of 2017, and I'm drinking coffee at 7:30 in the morning. We're in our favorite RV spot. It's 7:30 in the morning. And these words hit me. They couldn't come off my pen fast enough into my journal. Chad, I made you to build things. And when you're not busy building things, there's a part of your soul that's not well. And I sat there and I pondered on that for hours. And I finally put my pen down, put my journal down, walked inside the motorhome and told my wife, hey, the party's over, we're going back to work. And here's what I know now that I wish I would have known then, okay? The we is always greater than the me. So if you want to be your own guy, be your own boss, by definition, that means your job is to die to self and to help other people get what they want. It ain't about you, just like it wasn't about me. It was about the we, because it's always greater than the individual contributor, okay? The second thing I wished I would have known that I didn't know then, okay? I didn't know until this whole story played itself out. I wished I would have known that money doesn't solve any problems. Money wasn't going to solve any more of my problems. I'd already made a ton of it, okay? Money is a byproduct of solving other people's problems, okay? And whether you're a franchise auto dealer, whether you're the dealer, the GSM, the salesperson, or the new mail clerk, it all boils down to solving somebody else's problem. Then the money flows, okay? And then the third thing I realized is that I always told myself, when I get this, I'll be happy. When I get that, I'll be happy. And the next thing you know, the ante never stopped. It kept going, it kept going. But what I realized is when you pursue meaningful work, when what you do really means something to you, okay, then happiness is something you wake up with every single day. So, here's what I want to tell you. If you're watching this video and any part of it resonates with you, maybe you're at the beginning of the journey, working hard to get ahead. Maybe you've worked hard to get ahead and now the enormity of your success has got you overwhelmed. Maybe you've already been through this fall and you're back on track to go rise again. Or maybe you're on your third or fourth or fifth comeback. I want you to know you're not alone, okay? And I want you to know that at the end of the day, direction is far more important than speed. You see, if my life has taught me anything, it's taught me this. As human beings, we have this uncanny ability to find exactly what it is we're looking for. So whatever you're looking for, you're gonna find it. But you've got to slow down. You got to be still. You got to get really, really clear on what you want and why. Because again, in this life, direction is far more important than speed. I'm Chad Brooks with ADS. Happy selling and God bless.